Okay, so one thing that I want to do before we move on is to make this geometry a little bit more efficient. So any processes that we do from now on are just that bit faster. I also want to apply this to the height field to make sure that if we need to go back and make any changes there, that we are also saving this time and making that part as optimized as possible. So if I go to the top, I will drop down a curve node. Like we did for the river, and go to the top view. So, oh, sorry, duplicated that. Let me grab this, press space and 2, and start to outline the perimeter around the geometry that we want to keep. Okay, stop building curve and switch to the curve itself. We'll see that because we closed this curve, it has went ahead and made it a full polygon. Let me press space and 1 to go back to the scene view. And I will move this whole thing down in world space to make sure that it is below our height field. So let's put -50 or something. It's probably fine. Next, we will give it some thickness by using the extrude node. And setting this to something like -300. Oh, sorry, 300. Should be fine. Okay. We can drop down a height field cut out by object. We have two options here. We have the height field input and the geometry input. So we would like to use the geometry in the second option and the height field in the first. And we'll see that we get to cut out this geometry. As this is a curve and this being node based, we can grab the curve and move these points whenever we like, and we'll see it update. Okay, we will plug that in and continue this downstream. Now, because we have made these changes, we also need to recompute our erode nodes. So I'll just go ahead and do this. Go back to frame 0, unfreeze, reset, and recompute. Go back to frame 0, unfreeze, reset, and resim. Awesome, looks good. So now we have updated this. One thing you will notice is that when we switch to the height field convert node, that it doesn't actually delete the geometry that we wanted to delete from the height field. If we look at the sides, although it appears invisible here, if we switch to the wireframe view, it is actually still here. So what we can do is use the same geometry that we used as the cutting object on the height field in a Boolean function. So we will set up our Boolean, tab Boolean. We will plug in our geometry. I will hit escape to stop it from trying to do any calculations at this point. And plug in our cut out geometry, which is here. Now, I will set this to manual for the moment to stop it from updating. Go to the Boolean and set option A as a surface. I will also remove resolve self intersections because there won't be any, and I'll set this from subtract to intersect. Awesome, so this works just fine. And if we plug this in to the RTUVOP and switch to this, you can see the geometry has finally disappeared. Great. And in the next video, we will start to look at displacing this geometry by textures.